The following episode of Vos de Sueños After Dark has been rated cupcakes due to extremely graphic content, heavy alcohol use, swearing, mature themes, very poorly written fan fictions, and varying audio levels. Viewer discretion is not advised, it is required. Please, if these themes upset you, stop the video now. Welcome to a very special episode of Vos de Sueños After Dark, Not Safe for Work Edition. Today is Tuesday, October 18th, 2011, and here with me today, I have Mobius.
Hey, how's it going? Fuck it all.
Mobius and I, this is going to be a lot more informal than some of my other recordings. Today we're going to be doing two things that I have been putting off, although you keep asking for them. Which is...
You're all a bunch of sick bastards.
Yes. And that's why this is the Not Safe for Work edition, because not only are we going to be cursing a lot, we're also going to be drinking during the recording, because you've asked me to record Spiderses and Sweet Apple Massacre in reverse order.
I'm about halfway through my second bottle in roughly 10 minutes. I haven't drank in roughly the last 3 weeks. So yeah, we're starting this off on a good note.
I am drinking Jameson and ginger ale out of a Thirsty Pony glass, because we actually have a bar near us called the Thirsty Pony. Alright, y'all. I don't even know what to say here, other than... There's a face palm. You can't see it, but it's here. So, we're going to start with Sweet Apple Massacre because it's much shorter, and we're actually going to go all the way through it. Depending on how much we're drinking and how much we're angry and ranting at the TV, microphone, whatever it is, will depend on how far we make it through Spiderses. But Mobius here has experience reading things like Spiderses. Would you like to tell them about that?
Well, Spiderses is good or bad? I haven't even looked at it yet.
Spiderses is like My Immortal.
Okay. I actually saw a good response on that thing back on Equestria Daily, so I presumed it was good.
No. The 6 stars godlike thing is a troll.
Okay.
Sathista was trolling everyone.
Okay, so back in the day, there's like a year and a half ago, I'm over at my friend Justin's house, and I'm 3 sheets to wind, as is the commonplace in my friend's house. And I'm so drunk that I can't even stand up. I don't know what's going on or where I am at this point. And Justin, the other Justin, shoves a computer monitor in front of my face with some sort of website, pointing at me and telling me to read. I grab hold of this thing as though it's trying to get away from me, and I start slurring and blurting out and cursing every third word. And ultimately, about not even the first paragraph, Justin says, wait! He goes off and does something. I don't fucking know what he did for 5 minutes. I was trying to find my legs, and...
You were trying to find your legs?
Yes!
Did they run away?
The fucking bastards disappeared on me. I didn't know where they went to. I couldn't feel them. I saw them, but I thought my eyes were lying to me. I had fun times when I'm 3 sheets to win. So, he comes back, and he hits the record button and says, alright, go. And so I have to repeat the first fucking paragraph again, and I'm pissed off about that. And then I just go. And My Immortal is it's the most rancid ass-tacular Harry Potter crack fic ever made. I mean, just fucking Google it. That's all I can say. Google My Immortal.
And if we get requests from you guys, I will clean up some of the audio because we actually went all the way through it. Do you remember what happened when you first showed it to me?
I remember that we tried showing it to you. You zoned out, pretended it didn't exist, and went to your happy place playing Halo.
Yes, but you're forgetting the part where there was lots of 151 and me screaming, I'm a real author, damn it.
Yes, I was also drunk when that happened.
Well... So, Mobius, who's an avid podcast listener and experienced narrator, will be joining me today in our wonderful endeavors to read you these horrible, horrible things.
You get to listen to my smooth, sexy, baritone voice today. You know, when I actually give a damn about pronouncing things.
Excellent. So, without further ado, we're going to start with Sweet Apple Massacre, and as an added bonus, I'll be doing it from someone's blog, because I really feel that their commentary adds something really amazing to just their recording in general. So, Fanfiction review, Sweet Apple Massacre. Oh, and there you have Miss Nikki, the barking wonder dog.
I told her shaky can's gonna rape her.
You know, that would be almost inappropriate if we weren't about to read this.
You know, if they can't handle a dog being raped by a tin can out of spite, they should stop listening. They're not gonna get to the first paragraph of this story.
That's true. Alright. I'm sorry, guys. I'm so sorry. Loyal readers of this blog, I am fucking so sorry.
See, this is the writer of the blog saying, I'm so sorry. I make no fucking apologies for this. You chose to listen to this podcast.
I agree. I make no apologies either. Which is why you'll be getting The Shadow Over Hoof's Mouth as a normal week episode, whereas this is more of AMV Hell Zero. Because it's not different at all, is it, Steve? More corn. So, loyal readers of this blog, I'm so fucking sorry. In my time, I found this fanfiction. When I first saw it, I was like, ha! How bad could it be? The answer, bad. Really bad. This is worse than Cupcakes. Yes, I found its official replacement as worst fanfiction. Anyways, we will begin. Warning. The following fic contains rape, sadism, blood and gore, feces and urine, in other words, rape, violence, guts, shit, and piss. Please do not enjoy. And those of you who haven't already gotten the hint that this is not safe for work and have decided to skip ahead, this is not safe for work. Or, you know, anyone under the age of ever. Big Macintosh. Should I read this in a special narrator voice?
Can you increase the font size so I can see a little bit better? Alright, that's awesome. We can go.
I almost feel like I should read this in Orson Welles' voice.
Do it in a very proper English, like you're narrating Winnie the Pooh.
And also the man who narrated Winnie the Pooh. Big Macintosh surveyed the many apple trees that made up Sweet Apple Acres. It was nearly Applebuck season once again, and it looked as though it...
Wow, that really makes this very appropriate.
And it looked as though they would be having a bumper harvest this year. He nodded, satisfied. His sister Applejack walked up beside him.
I think I should point out the characters like I usually do. And there's this wonderful picture of Sweetie Belle and Apple Bloom and Scootaloo.
They're so sweet and tender. They have halos above their head. They look so sweet and innocent.
Why did I think you were going to start saying sweet and tasty?
Alright, I gotta ask. What's a bumper, since I'm not West Virginia hill folk?
Hey now. I am sitting in my room in jeans without socks on. Alright. A bumper crop means it's a really, really good year. There weren't too many droughts and there wasn't too much rain.
Alright.
But it's a very awesome harvest year. Alright. Woo! Boy, howdy. I sure am glad you ain't injured this time, Big Macintosh, she said. Why, there's even more apples on them trees than last year.
Yep.
Big Macintosh replied in his characteristic manner.
Them's a lot of apples.
Applejack was silent for a moment, enjoying the feel of the slight breeze against her blonde mane.
Say, I don't suppose you've seen Apple Bloom anywhere, have you? I've been looking for her all day and she ain't nowhere to be found.
Big Macintosh shook his head.
Sorry, sis. Can't say that I have.
Darn, that silly filly's probably gone off somewhere with her friends. I just hope she ain't getting herself into any mischief, or else there'll be hay to pay.
Don't you go worrying yourself, Applejack. I'm sure she's perfectly fine. But anyways, I need to go back to the barn. I gotta go and press some apples for some fucking... I'm drunk enough that I'm starting to blur words together. Hold on, let me get this. Some of my home-brewed apple cider. I hoof-picked a few apples earlier especially, all nice and plump and ripe, and they ain't gonna press themselves.
I feel it necessary to point out that you're drinking cider right now.
I am! That's me! Oh shit. Damn, that's an audio level you have to edit.
Yeah, well,
yes.
I get it.
I am drinking apple cider. That's so damn appropriate, because I've heard this story. It's amazing.
Applejack laughed.
You sure do love your cider, don't you? Just make sure Apple Bloom don't get her hooves on it again. We all know what happened last time.
Big Macintosh chuckled along with his sister.
Yep.
The large red pony trotted back to the farm and gently closed the door. He opened a trap door with his mouth and went down the steps into an old, disused apple cellar. Usually, It was just filled with junk, scrap metal, old worn plows, old rope, and various other bits and bobs that had outlived their usefulness.
I like the fact that they're going over the specifications of what's in the cellar as though Big Macintosh had memorized it himself. Now, as though this was something brewing in his personality for a long time.
Inventory. Big Macintosh often came down here when he wanted to get away from the world, to withdraw for a little while for some peace and quiet.
And unfortunately, there isn't going to be any peace and quiet in your house after you scream for an hour over this. I love the comments that the author adds.
Today was different, however. The old rope, at least, had found a new use, because in its cellar space were Apple Bloom and her fellow Cutie Mark Crusaders, Sweetie Belle and Scootaloo, bound and gagged, propped up against the wall. 3 pairs of scared, round eyes looked up at Big Macintosh as he approached.
Well, I think Big Macintosh is being like Mike Shinoda right now because, /shades, he's got everybody so petrified.
Yeah!
Awesome. Now then. Oh, that's actually you.
Now then, ya 3 fillies.
He said, placid as ever.
Y'all need to learn a lesson. You need to learn not mess around with Big Macintosh, as I want some peace and quiet.
He said, looking directly at Apple Bloom. The little red-haired filly cowered under his gaze.
All I want is a quiet laugh, without all you Cutie Mark Crusaders run around this place, making with your noise. When I'm finished with y'all, there's gonna be no noise from you ever again.
So what? Making with the noise? The fuck does that mean?
As Big Macintosh approached, Scootaloo flapped her wings, struggling to get off the ground. Big Macintosh laughed and grabbed one of her wings. He twisted, at first slow, watching the pain visibly grow in her eyes. But then he tore hard, suddenly smiling, when he heard the snap and muffled whimper that came from Scootaloo. He then threw her to the ground.
Where's FPS Russia when you need him?
Your wings are useless, you silly filly.
He said pleasantly, and then he went to a toolbox and took out a rusty knife with a jagged blade and dropped it in front of the 3 fillies.
I'm gonna take off those gags now.
He said,
The first one to get a scream gets their tongues cut out.
I don't think Big Mac likes Dead by Sunrise because, /shades, he doesn't want to scream in silence.
Yeah!
He took off Sweetie Belle's gag first. She looked up at him with terror, but managed to stay quiet. Next was Scootaloo. She let out a strangled whine and was breathing heavily, still in horrendous pain from her broken wing, but managed to resist the temptation. Finally, he removed the gag from his sister Apple Bloom. She stared at him with her large, round eyes, filled with fear and incomprehension. This was Big Macintosh, after all, her big brother and the gentlest of souls. Wasn't he? Surely this was a horrible joke. But she had seen what he had done to Scootaloo's wing, and it was definitely no joke. She took a deep breath.
That's right, scream in silence. Show Big Mac that Chester Bennington is the best. Applejack?
Big Macintosh shoved his hoof in Apple Bloom's mouth. Silence her scream. He sighed and shook his head.
I told you not to scream, Apple Bloom. You should listen to your big brother.
Yeah, especially when you fuck up and say toll instead, dumbass. I'll scream and scream again, and Applejack will hear, and...
Apple Bloom said, falteringly.
Do eat, and this fic while you can.
You know, I kinda hope that you do. After all, I still ain't forgiven Applejack for that injury she gave me last Apple Duck season. If you want Applejack to join y'all down here, scream anyway. I, for one, would welcome her company. But now, to business.
So wait, he's happy to kill his entire family because one of them is a bit loud and the other one accidentally hurt him? What kind of Looney Tune is this guy?
The one animated by Chuck Jones.
This guy is one seriously crazed up Fruit Loop.
Big Macintosh picked up the knife and loomed over the cowering Apple Bloom. He pinned her down with a powerful hoof and stuck the knife into Apple Bloom's mouth. Sweetie Belle vomited at the sight, the thick yellow chunks and the acidic-smelling liquid splattering heavily on the floor. Scootaloo...
It's like Sweetie Belle Durrell, but instead of going, ah, she goes, blah.
So true.
Scootaloo managed not to be sick, but rather gasped and sobbed and choked with panic.
Don't panic.
Big Macintosh forced open Apple Bloom's mouth and with some effort cut out her tongue. Apple Bloom tried to scream, but her mouth was so full of blood, so it was more of a muted gurgle.
Oh, that's just some awesome visuals.
After a short while, she collapsed, tears streaming from her eyes,
You
falling...
can imagine the big, cute eyes and the big,
Ain't
oversized
you gonna
bow.
stay for dinner?
That's the thing. Imagine how cute she is and just boiling from the mouth with blood. That just makes everything so much better.
Aren't you gonna stay for dinner?
We're going to special hell.
We are going to special hell, the one reserved for child molesters and people who talk in the back of theaters. Big Macintosh
Then took the tongue and rolled it in the puddle of putrid vomit on the floor. He smiled at Scootaloo.
You hungry?
No, and I never will be again after reading this.
Scootaloo shook her head vigorously and cast him a defiant glare.
If Rainbow Dash was here, she would kick the crap out of you! You maniac!
Don't worry, Scootaloo. I would kick the crap out of him too if I was there as well.
Big Macintosh shrugged.
Well, she ain't. And anyway, I wouldn't be so sure about that. Rainbow Dash ain't as tough as she likes to make out.
Because she's cupcakes now! Oh, God.
He shoved the vomit-covered tongue into Scootaloo's mouth and used her hoof to clamp it shut.
Holy shit. I keep forgetting how horrible this fic is. I've read it a couple times, but...
Don't you go trying to spit it out now.
He said calmly, with a little laugh, and the filly struggled and squirmed.
Didn't your mother ever tell you how important it was to chew your food?
No.
Scootaloo...
Because Scootaloo doesn't have parents.
Scootaloo closed her eyes and flapped her one good wing desperately, eventually swallowing Apple Bloom's tongue. Big Macintosh, still holding the writhing Scootaloo down with his strong hooves, then mounted the orange filly and slid his penis into her tight virgin pussy, raping her for several minutes while Sweetie Belle watched, trembling with revulsion. Apple Bloom was still out cold, blood pouring from her torn-up mouth.
And all I could think was Apple Jacks pouring from her mouth. Not even the cereal, just like 50 little Apple Jacks falling out. The author knows everything about sex, and he's also a good writer. That makes the story so much worse. I don't think he knows anything about sex. It doesn't usually work this way.
No.
Usually.
Cutie Mark Crusader rape victim.
Big Macintosh said with tender mockery as he fucked Scootaloo, followed by a gentle chuckle.
Guess you all found your purpose in life now. Your special talent's getting raped. Yep.
Oh, how funny. Fucking hilarious.
Eventually, he withdrew from Scootaloo and gripped her head tight and repeatedly punched her hard with a hoof in the face, causing her nose to shatter and spurt out blood. He scooped up some of the blood and of Sweetie Belle's vomit with his tongue and held it in his mouth.
How? How is he scooping this with a hoof?
This is actually what Lauren Faust talked about when she said, make them act like ponies, damn it. I don't know. Apparently he has hand hooves. They're creepy. They're like little digits on the end of his hooves, and he just kind of pokes people with them.
He has some sort of convex surface in his hoof, as the more sources do, but it's more the extra 3 joints he would need to move that into the right position, along with the tendons and muscle groups to pull it off.
He just goes like this.
Yes, because Big Macintosh is a contortionist as well as a Cutie Mark Crusader rapist.
There you go.
And then brought his mouth close to Scootaloo's and spat the rank mixture into her mouth. He clamped his hoof down over her mouth and held her nose until she gagged and everything and had no choice but to swallow.
Shit, man.
As Scootaloo retched and spat and cried, he turned to Sweetie Belle. He grabbed her easily as he was too shocked and traumatized to respond, and, with apparent amusement, he rammed her horn up Scootaloo's ass.
I can only imagine if I ever read Ditsy Doo and the Blustery DA, that I'll use this same voice so that the bronies who have to listen to it will know both versions.
The horn was big, very big, and hard, so the skin around Scootaloo's ass ripped, and blood and fecal matter first trickled, and then poured profusely down onto Sweetibelle's face, and, as well as urine, which Scootaloo pissed herself with.
That's fucking disgusting. Notice the current lack of effort in the commentary.
You keep doing that, Sweetie Belle.
He said. The unicorn carried on, pushing her horn up Scootaloo's anus, slowly but surely. Her normally well-groomed pink and purple mane was now stained a reddish-brown, glistening with the wetness of the piss and blood.
If you stop, I'll come over there and get creative. I may seem a bit dense, but I'm actually quite a creative stallion, you know?
Big Macintosh said with a wink.
Yep.
If Big Mac was Hagrid from You're a Wizard, Harry, shades, he would fucking rupture your anus with his massive horse cock.
Yeah!
He went to Apple Bloom and penetrated his little sister's unconscious body with his hard cock.
It's amazing how those words came from a human being. They actually conceptualized this shit and put it down to the point that we are now reading it now.
My first drink is gone.
You know, I have to stop here and say I look back to me as a kid when I wanted to grow up to be Godzilla. I in no way predicted me growing up to read this fanfic.
Even a year ago when we were recording My Immortal, never did I think we would be back at this. It's like Ghostbusters 2. Who's Bill Murray? Is that Justin?
Yes, Justin is Bill Murray. He actually did a report on Bill Murray in high school, so it fucking fits.
Sweet. I think you get to be Ray if you want.
Who are you, Egon?
No, I meant Egon. I'm Ray.
Gotcha.
I don't even know if I want that, but that seems to fit.
You can be a black guy.
Oh yeah.
He glanced over, and was pleased to see that Sweetie Belle was still using her horn to anally penetrate Scootaloo.
Like a good little girl. Oh god, that just came out of my mouth.
And her face was now completely covered in blood and feces and urine.
Well, he violated her, and another knife, this one's sharp and shiny. Please take a moment to read that. If you understand what the fuck that meant, you are, 1, drunk, 2, hot.
Yay, we're number 1!
Which is awesome, because I didn't actually read that line. I skipped over it, which I realize now, but that's cool. Sadistic, or 4, all of the above. Yay for us.
He turned his attention back to Apple Bloom and scooped up her crimson entrails and wrapped them around his neck, still fucking the filly, and with his front hooves pulled and pulled.
Wait. He's wearing her entrails around his neck?
It's so fashionable!
Does that mean he's getting laid? Shades? Yeah!
Oh my god. What is this shades yeah thing? What does that come from?
There's a thing on CSI, I believe. I never saw it. Where some 80s. It's really popular. I don't know the name of the show, but there's a TV show where it's a cop show. And this guy in the beginning will do some really lame pun, put his shades on, and then go, yeah!
That's kind of awesome.
Holy shit, that's like every classical song ever made.
Yeah. That's kind of amazing, though. I'm down with that. I want to create our own memes. I really want to spread, where is Greg? He's supposed to be the manager. The manager! For those of you wondering, I have a manager at work named Greg who keeps disappearing whenever we need him, and we want him to tell us what's wrong and help us fix things, but then he always disappears, and we just want to know where Greg is, because he's the manager! He's the manager! She was now surely dead. But Big Macintosh continued fucking her furiously. That's right, furiously. Until her body began to lose form and collapse into a quivering amorphous mass of fur and blood and flesh. The perineum had fallen away, leaving a single red and raw gaping void. He carried on until he was fucking nothing but a swollen and bloody orifice, and then discarded his baby sister's carcass as though she were nothing more than a rotten apple core. I just want to point out, the smoothness with which I can read this while using that voice as though it is the most natural thing to talk about in the world.
See, that's years of acting training
And-
coming forward.
And psychology, in which I distance myself from the reading itself.
I don't think this is what the Buddha ever would have thought of when he thought of detachment.
But everything looks perfect from far away. That's what detachment's all about. Oh god, that means this looks perfect from far away. Time for more alcohol.
There's a flaw in any religion where that is the case.
Oh, that's right. We're starting to talk about religion now, too. So not only is it not safe for work, it's not safe for anyone.
Dude, we
Hide your
have
family.
to. It's like My Immortal, where we have to take breaks to talk about other shit. We can't keep on going, man.
Oh,
We can't keep on going.
you just wait till Spiders is. Spiders is more fun. There's sex and bad writing.
Yes, but this is the Cutie Mark Crusaders getting raped by Big Macintosh. How is Spiders is worse?
You'll see.
Alright, it'll
It's-
be new for me.
I would love to know what's going on in Big Mac's head. He then took the knife and grabbed Sweetie Belle and tossed her aside. He forced himself into Scootaloo's ruined anus, and then took the knife and cut her in the ass in a sweeping motion from her belly, and all her innards fell out. He then grabbed her head, twisted it, and tore it clean off.
Now hold on. If you really want to vivisect someone in order to get the right muscle groups for it, you can't just cut them vertically because they're lying their back. The actual fat muscle groups are going to hold everything in.
He wants his eye on her.
That's why you need to make the eye. You need to vivisect and cut the solar plexus and abdominal muscles, plus the groin muscles hold everything together.
Your knowledge of torture anatomy is vaguely disturbing.
Look, I'm in the military.
Better not tell them which one.
I live in What other military am I going to be a part of?
Shit, they know where I am now, too. I'm in a... Welcome. This is what comes out of restaurants and horrible, horrible things.
That narrows it down. We're now 2 out of 8 million.
Yeah.
He then had sex, using his immense strength, and fucked it in the mouth and then tossed it aside. He then had sex with her headless body, both in the vagina and the ass, until he got bored.
How does one get bored? As though they lose stimulation and challenge from fucking a disembodied head. Which really goes to the psychology of what
Isn't that
Big
like...
Macintosh would get out of raping someone. How a disembodied head does not
It
give him that.
either makes you someone who wants to have sex with ghosts, or wants to be somewhat closer to Vlad the Impaler. Fucking disembodied heads, you know.
How frustrating would that be if you wanted to have sex with ghosts?
I think that you would be the most pent-up person in reality and probably have a few screws missing.
It's amazing what massive...
Not loose, missing.
It's amazing... It's amazing what massive sperm buildup can actually do to a human being. That's the military term over when someone hasn't jerked off or gotten laid in an extraordinarily long period of time. They lose their goddamn mind. Massive sperm buildup.
Ah.
I'm sure there's a lady version somewhere.
I wish that I had the sound effect for the more you know when that star comes across the screen.
Sweetie Belle was the last remaining Cutie Mark Crusader. She was, herself, barely conscious.
Now I know what happened to the Knights Templar. They were Crusaders too.
She was herself barely
Big
conscious.
Macintosh went back in the past 1,000 years ago and then raped them all. That's what happened to Knights Templar. Thank you, every Dan Brown novel ever written.
Big Macintosh pinned Sweetie Belle down with his hoof and plunged the knife into her green eye and twisted, causing the vitreous fluid to dribble out onto the handle.
First of all, it's not going to dribble, it's going to burst forth and then dribble.
Kind of like in Aliens.
Hmm?
At that, Sweetie Belle let out a throaty whine and involuntarily emptied her bowels, and the aroma of fresh urine and feces filled the apple cellar once again. He withdrew the knife and did the same to the other eye, each time holding her tight and sticking his hoof in her mouth to silence her agonized screams. He licked the vitreous fluid that had leaked onto the knife, and then methodically began cutting and hacking at her front left hoof, with the rusty knife. The knife was quite blunt, just like my accent. But It took a Herculean effort to get through the skin, bone, and cartilage, but eventually the bone splintered and the leg came off. He did the same to her other legs until all 4 were amputated and nothing remained but bloody stumps.
This author has never carved a turkey before and has no idea how connective tissue actually works. The fact that it's that little bit unrealistic helps me.
Yeah, well, I don't know those things, so the first time I read it, I thought it was realistic, and I have to live with that memory.
True, but you've never actually performed surgery on mammals, and mammals are people before. The idea that
Mammals or people?
Look,
Are we not mammals?
we're mammals, but it's a little differentiation over the
All right.
psychology aspect of doing surgery. But pulling, bullets out people, connective tissue does some funny things compared to most muscular and bone tissue and skin tissue and anything else. Where, take for example, it's the same reason why, for people who for y'all hill folk who grew up on the farm, whoever had to kill your own chicken dinner before. There's a reason why cutting the head off a chicken is an analogy. The fact that the tendons are molded to have a higher the tendons act like they have a higher concentration of connective tissue. I haven't taken an anatomy class before. That's why that's one of the reasons why you really need a sharp knife to hack through them. There's no amount of blunt force is going to sever the tendons in a chicken's neck.
Fair enough. The more you know.
You learned something in this fic, despite her best efforts.
That's upsetting. We're teaching them things. Those poor bronies.
At some point, Sweetie Belle had passed out. The overwhelming pain too much for her to bear.
And if I'm skipping anything, I don't really care. I would care if I were, reading something better.
We gotta give them the full experience. Because I don't know if we don't do it, because it'll bother me.
You'll know when you're sober, but you won't know right now.
No. I see it right now. There's half a paragraph between the vitreous fluid and kill me.
But
Through the skin.
he
bone,
did the
cartilage.
same for the other legs until all 4 were amputated and nothing remained but bloody stumps, with the slimy white ligament and broken bone shards hanging out. At some point, Sweetie Belle had passed out, the overwhelming pain too much for her to bear.
Kill me!
He then used his knife to gouge out her left eye and jammed his penis into her eye socket, penetrating repeatedly deep into her brain, enjoying how tight her skull felt around his hard shaft, and how warm and squishy the brain matter felt against the tip of his throbbing dick. As he did, he twisted Sweetie Belle's neck. After he finished skull-fucking her, he cracked open her skull, with a swift stamp of the hoof, and bent down and ate some of the exposed brain, taking care to spit out a few fragments of skull bone that had got mixed in as he chewed. And this is the same voice used for Winston Churchill's voice, and the same as the narrator for Winnie the Pooh. He swallowed, and then...
Nope, skip something.
It was warm and slimy and tough.
It was warm and slimy and tough.
That's not even in there. That is in there, but that's next.
After he finished skull-fucking her, he cracked open the skull with a swift stamp of the hoof and bent down and ate some of the exposed brain, taking care to spit out the few fragments of skull bone that had got mixed in as he chewed.
And actually, I had already said that, but I don't care because I'm making sure not to skip things because I love y'all so much.
It was warm and slimy and tough and stuck to the back of his throat. He swallowed and then raped Sweetie Belle in the arse until it tore open and his engorged penis was smeared with what little fecal matter remained in her rectum.
Oh my fucking god, there goes my appetite along with my innocence and everything I've ever loved. Mobius and I don't have those things, thanks to some creative life circumstances.
It's like a nightmare we get to live.
Why did I make this drink half Jameson?
Because you realize at this point, 3/4 Jameson would still not be enough.
He took one of Sweetie Belle's detached legs and shoved it inside her ass, and then fucked Apple Bloom and
Apple Bloom, there is nothing left of that girl. Really, there's nothing left. She's an amorphous blob of gore.
There's a Apple Blob now. Apple Blob of gore.
There we go. We're going to replace Apple Bloom with Apple Blob.
Dude, amorphous blob has the same string letters as Apple Bloom. It fucking makes sense, dude. Da Vinci Code.
We've solved it. We've solved the Sweet Apple Massacre code. Decrypted it.
He took one of Sweetie Belle's detached legs and shoved it inside her ass, and then fucked Apple Blob and Scootaloo's bodies the same way, forcing his amputated limb in who first as far as it could go. He thought how strange it was that the still lumps of torn flesh that he was fucking with Sweetie Belle's leg had been so vibrant and alive such a short time ago. But now, all three were dead.
Now it's Renum. But now all three were dead, and he finished by spurting his voluminous load in Apple Bloom's destroyed backside. Problem solved! He watched with satisfaction as the semen and blood and shit mixed together, forming a foamy maroon pool. He bent down and greedily lapped up some of it with his tongue, pressing his tongue deep into a... The ladle. All I can think of is the ladle. Y'all don't know what the ladle is, and if you're lucky, you never will, because I'm not going to tell you. But it involves work. Worse than you can possibly imagine.
Pressing his tongue deep into her anal cavity so as not to miss any, letting some dribble down his chin. It tasted foul, a rancid tangy slime that burned his throat, but it felt so satisfying. He swallowed the filthy goo and wiped his mouth with a hoof. It was done. Big Macintosh would finally get his peace and quiet.
Duke Nukem.
I wish Big Macintosh would.
Shades.
Eat shit and die.
Yeah! Big Macintosh, you down there?
It was Applejack. He looked at the disfigured corpses of the three fillies, all now barely recognizable as the oh-so-sweet Cutie Mark Crusaders, and realized he felt strangely unsatisfied.
Wow, poor guy.
It had all been a bit too quick and uneasy.
Just can't get a break.
Nope.
Now, Applejack, that would be a challenge. She was Ponyville's best athlete after all. She had even won the prized Pony of Ponyville trophy to prove it. And of course, he still hadn't forgiven her for that injury. He felt his penis stiffen once again in anticipation.
I get erections at the thought of killing people as well. The author of this is the love child of Sergeant Sprinkles and Jigsaw from 3D. Saw 3D. Yeah, really. I agree. Sergeant Sprinkles, you're a terrible pony and you should feel bad. Bad pony. Bad.
Who's Sergeant Sprinkles?
Author of Cupcakes. Yeah, that's why he's the love child of Sergeant Sprinkles and Jigsaw from 3D. Saw 3D. Why do I keep saying it's 3D? Hey, Big Macintosh, I said, are you down there?
Came Applejack's lilting voice again.
I would not describe her voice as lilting.
This time more insistent. Big Macintosh replied serenely.
I sure am, sis. Hey, come down here a minute. I got something to show you.
Yeah, he does. Sure thing, what is it?
It's a surprise.
Oh boy, I sure do love surprises. Something real nice, I bet. Yeah, if you have a fetish for being killed and raped at the same time. That's why Big Macintosh is a reaver.
You'd be surprised.
Something real nice.
And if you can't tell, we're Firefly fans. In fact, during one campaign, I was wearing a brown trench coat and I shouted, "They call us browncoats because we're covered in shit all the time." Big Macintosh looked at the mangled, mutilated remains of the Cutie Mark Crusaders and his lips curled into a thin smile.
Yep.
Nope.avi. Fuck this shit. It seriously overturned Cupcakes in the worst fanfic section. Yep. So, for those of you wondering, that is Sweet Apple Massacre. It is a horrible, horrible thing that we have endured for the sake of my art. That's right, we endured it for my art.
I would like beer 4 at the time that we took.
Are you really?
I am.
You might need some of my Jameson.
Maybe. I may be sleeping here tonight and waking up at 4 a.m. to get to work on time.
I hope that doesn't have to happen, but anyways, if it does, we may need to go get more beer.
But fortunately, we could walk to the nearest liquor store.
True. Do we need stuff? Because we can pause this and go get it, because Spiderses may be worse. It's not going to be worse in terms of the sex, but your smile. And also, if you want to go all the way through the recording, Spiderses is longer.
I think I'm drunk enough. I've drank like 4 beers within the last hour. I usually drink 1.
Yeah, I know. But it's your decision, drunk as we are.
Man, I don't think we need to get more shit.
All right.
I think we can Superman through spiders. Is the recording still going on?
Yes, it is.
Okay. So, it's time for me to fucking rant, because I got some hate built up inside of me. I am not one for hate. The big Macintosh is raping penis. Brought it out in me.
Yes, let the hate flow through you.
Yeah.
yeah.
As it's off to bring the worst. As it is off to bring out the worst in people. So,
Big Macintosh brings out the worst in people.
this fucking version of him does. Dude, I don't care. There are a lot of kids in your neighborhood, but I don't care if my voice carries and they all hear me right now. Because they're gonna live in the internet and they're gonna hear this shit.
I hope my mom's gone somewhere else.
So, I'm in the...
Yay!
That's no secret. If you've listened to... What moniker are you going by now?
Vos de Sueños.
Vos de Sueños. Shit, I can pronounce that. It's amazing.
Well done.
So, Vos de Sueños. I probably mentioned it before that in the military.
Yay!
So, shit be fucked, yo. I mean, shit be fucked.
You spent part of your day today drawing horses with whacked out poo brain while fixing computers.
So, I'm currently like every other 20-something where I'm unemployed and doing shit. Part of that's me.
Being in the
Yay!
doesn't count as unemployed. You're just rarely employed.
Rarely employed, but they pay well enough where I can pay bills and make a livable wage doing
Also,
so.
you get shipped out every once in a while.
Yeah. So,
And then you're working for a year at a time.
yeah, pretty much. And that year time pays for a lot of shit. So, the idea is that my readiness NCO, which is kind of like your immediate supervisor that's overworked and hates life, especially my new one. I love you, Sergeant.
Yay!
It's amazing. You're
I'm gonna have to edit that out. We can't use real people's names in this.
Okay. So my readiness NCO, really? Because I mentioned Justin
Yay!
5 times.
I know, and I've edited. First off, those have never made it up, and second of all, I've edited out the ones that have.
Okay. So, my readiness NCO called me up last week and told me he had some temporary work for me. That changed from
Yay!
to the
Yay!
Arsenal, down to where the fuck you're going, to show up at the Arsenal at 8 a.m. on a Tuesday, see what happens.
Don't forget the Monday that you didn't realize was a holiday.
I didn't realize that Monday was Columbus Day.
Somebody told me at like 5 p.m. and I went, oh, really? Who's it a holiday for? No one but the banks and the military.
Exactly, we get 4-day weekends, that's great.
But anyways, you were ranting.
So, in order to get paid, I need written orders to be published. Now, written orders go through our headquarters and
Yay!
they come out somewhere between 4 days and never. Now, fucking see. In order to get paid, they have to go through headquarters, and headquarters shits itself half the time. And I wish it was better. I want to think the best in people. I know people out in headquarters. I know some really good people out in headquarters. But apparently those good people that I don't know if they've played with before were not in charge of these set of orders. So, they haven't come in yet. And usually they come in, maybe last minute, but they're in. So I'm currently working a job with no fucking orders, and no fucking orders come in, I don't get no fucking pay for this. This pisses me off. So, hopefully, worst case scenario, I'm not gonna name drop my favorite podcast in here. They don't deserve to be associated.
As much as I love them, I agree. Speaking of which, I had been meaning to save this for next week, but I'll mention it now, because I'll mention it in the podcast anyways, for those who don't actually listen to this recording. I have been thinking about putting GM Banhammer up on this account.
Ooh.
So, for those of you in the Peanut Gallery wondering what I'm talking about, for longer than I've been doing this particular podcast, I've been thinking about doing GM Banhammer, which is similar to many gaming podcasts in that it would be mostly about role-playing and geeky stuff, which I'm guessing, given the general gist of most bronies I know, some of you might actually be interested in. So, if you happen to think about that, let me know if that would be interesting.
I can fucking drunk and rant on GM Banhammer.
You can be sober and rant on GM Banhammer.
Indeed I can. The difference being that do I talk at an easily listenable rate of English?
Okay, fine. You get to be drunk and everyone else is sober. It's
Yay!
Friendship is magic, just like alcohol.
The main thing is that, depending on when we need to switch off from moderator host, because I need to be sober to be moderator. I can't be this drunk and be moderator. I can be this drunk and be very outspoken. I can't mention the host of my favorite podcast. I can't.
You could just call him Dan.
True, I could. I can't be Dan when I'm drunk.
I know.
2 drinks I can be Dan, but not 4 drinks I can be Dan.
Later in
4 drinks I'm Chad.
I could be Dan right now, but later in the evening, which for us it's about 7 right now. That's right. This started way too early, but you do what you can with the time that you have, and I'm off today and tomorrow, and Mobius is just good.
I'm working maybe this whole week, depends if orders come in, so I'm getting paid for this week, but I don't know.
Anyhow, so, are you ready to move on?
Yes.
Do you need the other 2 beers right here by your side for you?
What, you mean move on for Spiderses or move on for continue ranting?
Oh, if you have more ranting, go ahead.
There is more ranting. So, I deployed in 2009 to Iraq, and I was a 25 Bravo Information Technology Systems Specialist, which sums up to computer geek.
Though you have training as a medic and a helicopter mechanic.
No, not formal training as a medic. Shit, what was it? As a mechanic in 2005, after I graduated high school, when I went to 63 Bravo School.
Those of you wondering, we're a couple of plucky 20-somethings.
Yay! So, anyway, right on my 18th birthday, I went into the military. I went to 25 Bravo School. I went to 63 Bravo School, wheeled vehicle mechanic, right after high school, like a month after I graduated, I went.
It occurs to me, is this going to be an issue if any of your friends in the military happen to hear this?
Look, I got fucking my immortal on the internet tonight, right now, so if they want to hear some shit, they
But this is Pink Pastel Ponies.
I don't give a fuck. Maybe I'll give a fuck in like 6 hours from now. That's future Ryan's problem. Yes, my name's Ryan. Fuck, my name's Ryan. Like 3 million other people named Ryan. Take it. Love that name.
And now we've descended into epic meal time, so I think it's appropriate to begin Spiderses. That's.
So,
I really wish that we'd actually gotten that epic meal time with the ponies posted. Because we made Applejack's mistakes, cupcakes, muffins. We made Applejack's muffins. They were terrible. They were the worst thing I've ever eaten. And then they decided we needed to cover them in Tabasco sauce. Because that's what Pinkie Pie would do.
what? Good.
Alright, so we have Spiderses, the page on Equestria Daily open. And
They even have the Trollestia face there.
yeah, they do. So, it says godlike. Let's see if... I'm guessing it's Sethisto who posted this. It may have been Serial.
It has a
No.
no, it has Trixie on there. It's Sethisto.
Is that a seal of excellence? Yeah, it is. It's a Trixie seal of excellence.
It is Trixie Seal. You trust that pony?
No! Never.
I would actually like to know Trixie in real life. I really would. If ponies existed,
You know
in real
Ben.
life-
They know about Ben.
And Ben makes life so special. And I wish there was a Ben and or Trixie in real life. Because I figure that me and Ben would be best friends. Like in real life right now. The illustrious, incomparable Ben.
Amazing.
Is it the illustrious, incomparable Ben, or am I missing something?
You're missing Sagely, but that's okay, because when I was recording sober earlier, I missed Sagely too.
So it's the illustrious,
Sagely.
sagely, incomparable Ben.
Sagely, industrious, illustrious, and incomparable Ben.
Why is the sagely first? It seems like the illustrious would presume the ego of Ben.
Because Ben's a very special character. Very much like Trixie, Ben has to inflate his own ego, and he's a dragon.
Mm-hmm.
Wisdom is valued among dragons, and as a result, that's the first thing he ever learned. So,
Okay, so it's the cultural norm in presenting that face.
because
What
that's
the fuck? I'm drunk and I'm still crunching anthropology.
alright. So, Spiders is godlike. Every once in a while, I open my mailbox and am instantly hit with a sense of absolute peace. The feeling is indescribable.
You lie, Sophisto. You lie. You liar.
This happened just yesterday, and I was immediately forwarded the submission to the pre-readers to share the newfound joy I was now blessed with.
Fuck off.
4 of them came back with superpowers, and the other 17 cryogenically froze themselves because absolutely nothing else in this world could possibly top the experience they all shared while reading what has come to be known as the ultimate masterpiece of human intelligence.
Fucking troll.
Pre-reader quotes. Every once in a while, you get the chance to read a story that sets the bar for the entire genre. This story will forever be one by which all others are measured. You are witnessing greatness here, ponies.
Because everything needs a mathematical zero from which everything can have value derived from.
That's a good point. That is the pre-reader gifted with the ability to create life.
There's a certain level of writing that simply cannot be explained to the regular reader. It cannot be comprehended. Its quality is so far beyond its time that few, if any, will be able to recognize its greatness.
Pre-reader gifted with the ability to cure any illness and imbue their patient with immortality. Would you like to read the next one?
A boundary shattering. Fuck, I'm drunk.
Yeah, well.
A boundary shattering tale that pushes the envelope on what fanfiction can be. Pre-reader gifted with the ability to travel across time and space.
I wept pure, hot tears. Literature so awesome. My world, now spiders. Pre-reader gifted with the ability to haiku about anything.
I came. Pre-reader, I'd rather not mention his new power, which involved probably a penis or clitoris at this point in time.
Alright. The author for this story is... I've listened to some of the dramatic readings, so I'm not entirely...
Argenberger!
Yes, that is what I've heard.
You have to grumble while you say it. The grumble is this.
Argenberger! Yarr! Argenberger! You are a pirate! After a spell the description is that after a spell misfires, Twilight and Big Macintosh find themselves trapped in a world like they've never seen before. Together, they will face adventure, hardship, loss, and longing, as their shared experience brings them closer together.
I want this hardship to involve a penis at one point in time.
It does.
Yay!
So, those of you listening, know that if this is part of the Not Safe for Work edition, and we've been talking about My Immortal, which hopefully you've looked up in the... How long have we been going? The nearly hour we've been recording at this point. That this is not as awesome as it sounds. And some of you may even be familiar. We might as well read the entire thing. We've been going this long.
Go for it. I'm already so fucking
Oh, look! Mature content filter is on. Contains sexual themes and ideologically sensitive material. Display this deviation in energy?
Hold on. Jolly Jihad blowing up GIs and pulling their quads and pulling their burned and dismembered corpses across all Fallujah is ideologically sensitive. What the fuck can this be?
Oh, you just wait. Alright.
You just wait. X gonna give it to you.
Oh, yeah, X gonna give it to you hard. DMX. Tell your friends. Alright. It was a beautiful spring datty in Equestria's when Tillite Spurkle was in her study where she lived. Spike, she said. Come over here, Spike. And Spike came over. What do you want, Twilight? Spike said, and Twilight said, Spike, I need you to get me the book of magic, okay? Spike said, I will get it for you, okay? And he went over to the bookshelf to get the book for Twilight Sparkle. It was a dusty book, and Spike almost sneezed, but he didn't.
You gotta slow down a little bit. You gotta savor it like a fine wine.
I don't know, I think most of that was a single sentence.
It was, but you gotta do the service to the hold on, let me read the next part.
Whoops, sorry.
He gave the book to Twilight Sparkle, and she said, thank you. You, Spike, go away now. And Spike said, okay, I will go away. And he slid it away like a dragon. Fuck. Okay. Stab myself in the leg. Stab myself in the leg. Stab myself in the leg.
Billy, you're stabbing yourself in the leg.
And who I am, Papa?
So I am. Hilarious.
Twilight opened the book to chapter 5 and said, "Okay, magic, please happen." And magic began. Oh, no.
I told you this is like my immortal.
I'm a happy pony. I'm a happy pony. Began happening in her horn, and she did the spell! Exclamation point. It was magic and spell, and she knew that it was magic, which is why she. What the hell? All right. I gotta get closer.
Here, I'll
the letters dance. Okay.
the letters dance.
Yes, is why she casted it, because her cutie mark is magic, because she is a
Unicorn.
unicorn.
The spell made everything bigger and 8. Why is
not 9 or 7, but 8?
Why is everything bigger and 8? Question mark. Less than sign question mark. Willite said. Oh, it is because I am Spider now. Sad face.
Spider Twilight went up to the bookshelves to find the fix the spell, but she couldn't open to books or even grab them because she was a spider and not a unicorn, and her horn was gone, and also she did not have a voice that could speak loud enough for Spike to hear her and go get her book for her, and even if she did, probably wouldn't want to, because Spike would see her as a spider and maybe get scared and angry and then stomp her, which would make her a dead spider, Tweelies, and that is bad.
So, for those of you who know My Immortal, this is what it's like. And you know that. But those of you who don't know, this is what our recordings of My Immortal is like, which is why I'm saying, if you enjoy what's going on here, and the sarcasm and anger that will eventually arise from this, then you should request that it be put up, and I will grab the friend that has them, and I will do it, and it will be awesome, because I am Spiderses.
I have the torrent for the first 14 episodes, but that's it.
But do you have the actual copies? Because it's no longer up, because his computer's never on anymore.
You mean the actual torrent of it?
Not the torrent, the files.
Yes, I have the files.
Oh,
for the first
alright.
14 episodes, and that's good enough.
Awesome. But then I'm not there. It would make me a sad pony if I wasn't there.
If you can find the files for the other if you can find the torrent for the other files, or find the other files, make a torrent of them. Then
Yeah. Anyways. And then she heard a voice. Well, not really a voice, but it sounded like another spider! Exclamation point. She could understand the spider clicks, and she knew that it was a spider and that had to go and talk to this other spider, because that is what spiders do. Talk to other spiders.
A red spider appeared, and she said, "Hello, Twilight. Hello, Twilight. I'm Big Mac Spider now, question mark, question mark. Why? Apostrophe." And Twilight Spider said, Big Mac Spider, is it because I casted a spell that wasn't wrong? That wasn't wrong. And the big red Mac Spider said, "Okay, well maybe, but can you fix it?" And Twilight said, "Sad face." It's not even a word, it's the emoticon of sad face.
Twilight said sad face. Oh, okay, said the red spider. Well, if we are going to be spiders forever, let's have spider sex. And Twilight Spider said, okay, but well, I don't know how to have spider sex. And Big Spider Mac Red said, it was probably easy. Okay, are you okay with this? I am asking permission to have spider sex with you.
Twilight said, in the most sultry way that a pony turned a spider can to another pony turned a spider can, "I don't know, spiders are creepy and weird, sad face." And then Big Mac said, "Twilight, we are spiders." And then Twilight said, and then Tweelies said, "You have a point, okay? I guess we have to make the most of it, right?" And then Big Mac said, "That is the
I love
spirit."
how that's making the most of it.
Yes.
Instead of finding a way to be better, they just have spider sex.
Yeah, that's the logical conclusion one would make in this situation.
They started to have spider sex, and it
Oomph,
felt really
oomph,
weird.
Oomph.
For Twilight, but Twilight never even had normal, regular pony sex, so spider sex was the weirdest, most strange thing ever.
Is she like... Hold on, I have to pause. Is she like the girl that claims she's never had an orgasm before, then twitches and jerks around when she actually has one? It just sounds like it.
Yeah, probably. It was like a crunchy potato chip bag full of chips and got thrown into a chain link fence, and I don't know where this metaphor goes in anymore.
There's a period between go saying and
Gozing Amy Nor. Wow, that's a word, Amy Nor.
There's no capitals in it. It's all lowercase, the whole thing.
I feel like this person was either trying to replicate My Immortal or was just as drunk. No, far more drunk than we are.
No. I recognize good writing trying to intentionally be bad writing, and this ain't it. This is just bad.
After the spider's sex Twilight felt funny on the inside like something real not normal. Big Mac Spider said, "It is okay, Twilight Spider, if I live here with you so we can have more spider sex." And Twility said, "I dunno, I guess so, but I don't want to have spider sex for a while," and that was weird, sad face. And Big Mac Red Spider said, "This is okay, I will wait for you to be ready, because I am Gentle Spider." And Twilight said, "Okay, I appreciate it."
You know, me reading way too much into this is kind of like, okay, what kind of societal pressures does Twilight still have harboring from still being pony? And the whole fact that the conversation there reached the fact that there's a sort of sexual expectation that happens with ponies of a certain age, which Twilight feels isn't inadequacy against. Which, fuck it, I'm reading too far into this. Chapter 2, let's go.
And I feel it necessary to mention that there is a chapter 2 on this particular page, and that is very much like My Immortal.
It just goes.
It does. I still love the part where Hedwig becomes a person and then fucks Voldemort. Oh my god, spoilers! That's right, I spoiled My Immortal for you. You're welcome.
That does not help. It doesn't help. You may spoil, but you don't help.
Chapter 2, Spiders. There was a living like that for a while time, where they lived together and had some spider sex sometimes, but only when Twilight felt extra sorry for Big Mac. It's pity sex?
As what typically happens in most relationships with the girl is some sort of uber prude virgin.
Spidkey was downstairs and crying lotkes because he didn't know where Twilight went to, and Twilight wanted to go make Spike feel less ad, but she was a spider and couldn't talk.
Twilight's belly got bigger and bigger and bigger, and she didn't know what was happening. And then Spider-Mac Red Big said, I think you might be getting ready to have spider babies. And Twilight said, what? And Big Mac said, yep. Except for he couldn't actually make that word sound because he was a spider and doesn't have pony voice boxes anymore.
That's my favorite part of this whole thing. Because it waits until like midway through chapter 2 to mention that they don't have pony voice boxes anymore.
They communicate through telepathy and plot.
Twilight was real sad and upset because spider babies were gross and creepy and weird, and
You're
she
a fucking
cried
spider now. Deal with it.
and little bit, but Big Mac Red Spider gave her the biggest, most happy hug ever.
Because hugs make up for little children.
Made of spiders, and said, "I always want Ned to be a daddy, and even though I didn't want to be a spider daddy, I will try to be the best spider daddy ever and be here for you all the times, and okay.
Which brings to the question that, would a spider daddy be measured good or bad on the number of children that he consumed and ate?
No, he's measured on the fact of whether or not he actually stays. I'm fairly certain spiders just leave.
Yeah, but that's superimposing our cultural view. Damn it! I'm dating an anthropologist. I'm anthropologizing things.
You should make sure that she listens to this.
That would be horrible.
No.
Horrible. You're a horrible person.
Horrible or amazing.
Horrible.
Then one day Twilight had to lay spider eggs. It was the most strangest it felt, like a bubble wrap bubbles being pooped out. And then she was sad and upset again, but Big Mac Spider was to her the whole time, and it made her comfort.
Hold on. Most fathers... Sorry, I won't say most. I don't have actual statistics I can quote. A lot of dads who see a baby being popped out of a vagina...
Don't think, oh god, it's bubble wrap?
They don't think that.
I feel the need to watch Finding Nemo to recover some of my innocence now.
They
Because
see,
they're bubbles.
Oh god, there's this massive human being that's coming out of the vagina. Now I gotta stick my penis in that.
What if 1,000 years from now, this is the only remnant of our civilization?
You know what? I'm willing to live with that. Because I think that I get off on personal agency. So the fact that I ruin forever...
The future?
Yes, I ruin the future forever. And the future is...
So that's what 20th century people were like.
Yes, entirely. That was one of them. And
21st now, but whatever.
And you get to have the full example of 21st century internet culture in its budding youth.
Well, in all fairness, this is 21st century internet culture at its youth.
Yep.
Sadly enough.
Sir. Yep.
He bought her spider food, which was bugs, and Twilight was finally okay with eating bugs, even to hug. She wished she could eat vegetables and a mushroom, but with Big Spider Mac's help, she and Q that she had to eat them, bugs, to be alive, and being alive was more good than eating bugs was bad. So she did it, and was sad and upset because the bugs were gross, but it was okay because she was alive.
You know, Sorry. Twilight is one where her favorite food where she'll go out of her way to eat daffodils. Which says that she's a vegetarian. But
I think all the ponies are.
You know, it's the idea. This is actually, to pause for a moment, this is actually brought up another pony podcast, the fact that all ponies could eat grass if they wanted to. And Sweet Apple Acres is actually a, luxury item because they don't have to eat apples. But
True.
As seen in our limited knowledge of biology...
Appaloosa!
Appaloosa!
I love Brayburn. Those of you who don't know in the Peanut Gallery, I love Brayburn. And here's where we have our Mild West dances.
So it's the idea that every pony could eat grass, and Sweet Apple Acres is actually a luxury item. But it's also part of our limited knowledge of biology, the fact that, apples are really good for you, for whatever the fuck antioxidants do. I don't know what the fuck they do really, but I heard they're really good for you. An apple a day keeps the doctor away.
Did you see that comic where Applejack is throwing apples at the doctor?
No. Wait, yes. Yes, I did see that vaguely, but I don't remember any details of it, because I've seen like 1 billion comics involving the doctor.
Well, that's because ponies are everywhere.
My favorite one really, which only tangentially involves the doctor, but really doesn't, is one from the Tumblr account of, Princess Molestia.
Of course.
So there's a fanfic involving Luna versus Ponyville, aka Progress, which
Progress.
Luna has an abacus friend, which is also referenced in the Princess Molestia Tumblr account. The fact that you see Molestia from the back saying, "All right, all right, Luna, I hope you have your spelunking helmet because your abacus is up my ass."
I need to see that.
The comment of it at the end from Naughty Luna is, "How the hell did you get it up there?" How?
Before we continue, I feel that you need Jameson. Take some Jameson.
I don't want liquor. I don't want it. I really don't because it burns and it hurts.
But it's smooth and tastes like honey.
You lie! You lie!
Those of you at home, Jameson does not taste like honey, nor is it smooth. Don't ever drink it because you shouldn't. It tastes like honey.
Jameson tastes like all the socially oppressed worries of the Irish classes people.
And that's why I love it.
We're also German.
Right? But most German people are also Irish.
So am I!
I know you're German and Irish. It's a wonderful thing.
I swear, like, all the people in Northeast Ohio
Yay!
were German and Irish.
All right, but I'm from West Virginia. That's why I have about 12 accents.
I did.
I am the golden god of liquor, the leprechaun of liquor, the golden god of alcohol.
I swear, if you were ever, you ever,
I should be a spokesman for something.
if you were ever the Iron GM, you would be GM the leprechaun of liquor.
I agree completely. It makes me want to go just for that.
GM leprechaun of liquor here at the Iron GM competition at Gen Con.
To be fair, I have done what is not equivalent to, but sort of like the Iron GM competition.
Yeah, for the Matrix theme that
Yeah.
we ran. It was good stuff.
I'd like to do it again someday. But anyways, Big Mac Spider helped her guard the eggs for many days until one day the eggs were very big and had the dark things moving around inside them, and Twilight knew they were her babies, and she was kind of happy a little bit, and Big Mac was happy because she was happy, and then she was even happier because Big Mac was happy, but they didn't have a spider sex because Big Mac knew how much Twilight didn't like that because it felt weird. And also, she didn't want to have more babies, and neither did he really, but he was ready to be the best spider daddy so that Twilight didn't have to worry.
Yeah,
Oh my god, that's one sentence.
it is. But, you know, you can tell how much the author really likes Big Macintosh and the fact that she, you don't get to say it's a chick, because most chicks write fan fiction, until My Little Pony came out, but chicks wrote this anyway.
You're being vaguely sexist right now.
Look, I spent most of my teenage years surfing porn on fanfiction.net. And the vast majority of that...
You want a cat?
No.
You want me to...
Okay, so tangent now. Even if it takes a little... Fuck, stop offering me Jameson for
You
your
said
thirsty
okay.
opponents.
You said okay, and I thought that made
And you
want...
misinterpret that every time with liquor inside of me. So, back with one dude, since you edit the names out, one dude I know, I was over at his apartment, and he tried to get me to drink 151, and this was a bad idea.
I've also tried to get you to drink 151.
But this is after this incident, I knew it was a bad idea.
Ah,
Emphasis on bad idea.
I figured as much.
So he offers me a cap of 151. This is after one girl by the name of Corey. That's it's not her full name. Corey's her nickname. So she drank straight from the bottle of 151. More power to her. But
I know a male Corey who has just like... I used to have a picture of him just downing 151 straight from the bottle. That was a great night.
So Corey, she drank straight from the bottle after I tried drinking a cap of 151. It fucking burns. Burns its way down my throat, and I go racing for the bathroom.
As you hiccup thinking of that memory.
Yeah, I got swallowed puke.
Those of you playing the home game, unless you're a serious alcoholic and have lots of things to forget and never remember again, and you want problems in your future lives, unless you want that, don't drink 151.
Ever.
Especially straight like I used to.
Ever.
Gin and 151. College.
Yeah. Back when avoidance tactics actually worked.
Yeah, well, you get over those and you learn better.
Dude, it's amazing how I'm 4 beers into the night. The alcohol is wreaking havoc in the cloudiness and haze of my mind. But the
Bro.
mindful... I wish. Half-hearted, bro.
Yeah.
As the mindfulness I've developed at this point still makes me fully aware of all the wheels turning inside my mind at all times.
Yeah, well.
Well, anyway, where did you leave off? And then they heard little baby...
No. Very beginning of the
Oh,
paragraph.
sorry. A space fter. A few more days, the eggs started moving, and they knew that the eggs were going to hatch because Twilight was smart, and she knew all about eggs. Period space. They watched the egg pile of eggs move around, and then they heard little baby spider clicks, and they knew it was the baby spiders, and they watched even more much. Period. Next paragraph. The eggs all hatched simultaneously, and vast multitudes, I'm surprised you can spell multitudes, of tiny spiderlings swarmed out in a screeching horde. Twilight and Big Mac...
That was a good sound effect.
Yes. Twilight and Big Mac started to scuttle away as quickly as they could, but they soon found that they were in no real danger. The spiderlings had no intention of killing their parents.
Why not?
Plot. They witnessed a solid black mass of itchy, screaming death covering every surface of the library. Millions of spiders continued to swarm out of the eggs. The flood seemed to be endless.
Spike lay curled up in his little dragon bed, moping. Apparently he doesn't notice this. Things hadn't been the same since Twy's disappearance, and it had been over a week since he had any decent ideas about what to do about it. He was depressed and miserable.
You figure that Spike is a pretty good head about his shoulder. You figure at his worst, at Spike not thinking of any idea, which Spike continually thinks of good ideas.
Which is why he needs more character development. He's a good character.
It'll come in Season 2. Season 1 they had to focus on the main six. So, you figure at the worst, he would talk to someone who actually... Rarity, who's a very good Machiavelli schemer.
She really is.
Would come up with some idea. I mean, Rarity is a very good resource to draw upon in this situation.
That's right, you bronies out there in the audience. We just reference Machiavelli while we're drunk.
Ha ha!
Cheers. Suddenly, he heard a scratching, high-pitched noise coming from upstairs. His curiosity overcame his melancholy, and he plodded up to investigate. He was intercepted by a solid wall of spiderlings pouring down from the stairwell, which overwhelmed him almost instantly.
Spike had just enough presence of mind to scream, but doing so did nothing but allow the swarm of spiders access to his lungs and stomach. The spiderlings drained his fluids for sustenance, and Spike died a horrible terror and agony.
I didn't really remember Spike dying.
Spike died in horrible terror and agony. It says right there.
Apparently, Chapter 3 is called Spider Day.
Spider-Man, Spider-Man,
Does whatever a spider can.
sling me a web, you're a Spider-Man.
We need a hero, and we think that you'll do all right. All of the spiders ruined away from Twilight and Red Spidmermac, and Tehi didn't know what to do because they were so many spiders of the eggs. So many spiders of the eggs. Big Mac said, Hey, you spider babies. You are my spider babies. Now listen to me, because apparently my big Macintosh is black. Even though I practice and can actually do it, but whatever. Yep. But still, only one pony. Now listen to me. But the spider babies didn't listen because they were busy making too much noise, but they would listen if could they listen, because Max Spider was their daddy, and they loved him and their mummy, Twilight, More than any of them bugs, even the juicy ones. What? What does that have to do with this?
Roll with the ideology and culture they've now ingrained into the 5-minute... No, not good enough. The 2 to 3 minutes old spiders.
Big Mac Spider said to Twilight Spider, I am so sorry. I am the worst spider daddy, even though I promised I was gunning to be the best one, even sad face. Wow, you know what? I really have to believe that this is mocking My Immortal at this point, because I see the sad faces everywhere.
They're legitimately bad as an author. They might have seen My Immortal as their hero and good.
How sad is that?
Very.
Argenbarger, I really hope you've never seen My Immortal for your sake.
Argenbarger.
Twilight felt really bad and sorry for Big Mac Spider because she knew that he tried his best, but if there wasn't an biggest problem happening, she would have given him the hugs. Is that like a STD, the hugs?
I'm gonna give you the hugs. I'm gonna give you the hugs. With or without your consent.
Oh, God. The clap!
I've got the clap and I'm giving it to you.
You want me to give him the clamps?
Twilight thought hardest with having ideas, and then had one idea. Spider Bag,
Best sentence
come
I've ever
here
heard.
and help me, okay? Spider Mac did. All right. What do you... Said, all right. What do you want me to do, Twilight? And, question mark. Twilight said, I need you to... I sound like Apple Bloom right now.
I need to stay for dinner. Yeah, that's right. Remember what we already recorded.
Yeah. I need you to throw me into the spiders and red mouths. And Red Max said, You're sure? You sure?
You having trouble with this?
Due to Hork, spiders were creepy and weird.
To Hork? Is that really what it says there? Yeah.
To Hork.
To hug it.
Spider said, I know, but I need you to do this, okay? Because Big Mac, we are spiders! And Big Mac said, okay. Big Mac picketed her up, her legs, with his leg. We are both men of jobs.
Oh, Anson, you're my favorite. I hope you never hear this.
With his legs, and there were the spider babies. She screamed a little bit, but not really. Because she was trying to be brave, like Rainbow Dash would be brave if she were a spider flying at spider babies.
You want to help me record the elements of Awesomery at some point?
My God, yes. Then finally, after falling for the time, she landed in the spider baby. Not the spider, the spider babies. And they didn't know she was their mom because they were still just babies and crawling, and Twilight Spider heard to click at them and to stop. But they didn't know what where'd it go?
Sorry.
To do because babies are confused. Sad face.
Sorry, I needed to see how long we were going at this point because
sad face.
I was giving consideration to reading the first chapter of the elements of Awesomery in this, but I think I'll save it. Big Mac watched all the babies carry Twilight away, and he felt the most terrible and sad and said it was my fault that Twilight is being carried away by spider babies because I was the one who had spider sex with her and she made babies because sad face. I have to rescue her, he said.
Why is it? I have to ask. Why is it always the guys that are the initiators in this story? Look, I'm a guy. I have a penis. Hopefully, you figured that out by now. And
They all think you're a dainty woman.
I'm so dainty and have a little blah 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 blah. Anyway,
I'm glad that that wasn't used with real words and that was just...
so. It's the idea that understand for the one being penetrated, it's a lot more emotionally intense. So one thing I like to know is that why is it always in these stories the guy that is the sexual initiator there? The woman's the sexual initiator plenty of fucking times. So why is it exclusively the guy?
Why is it that while you're talking about this, all I can think of is a Venus flytrap?
Look, if you have a thing for the first thing that comes to mind is vagina dentata and teeth in the fucking cooter.
That scared the shit out of me. Let's just end that conversation.
Yes. You continue. I gotta go get water or else I'm gonna die. Is there more in this cup?
No. Well, that's a cup you can use for water. It's only had coffee and tea in it.
Your mom is downstairs. Do you foresee a
You
problem?
can go there.
Bathroom.
Chapter 4. When Spiders Are. I don't like this, question mark, Twilight.
Sophisto, fuck you.
Yeah.
Sophisto, you do amazing things with the blog. I think you're a pillar of the community. But right now, fuck you, dude.
Did you see where my hand went? I was like, where's my drink? And my hand goes straight to the bottle, like the straight bottle of Jameson. Not my glass. I don't like this, question mark. Twilight Spider thought. I wish Big Mebik were here. He knows what to do every time! Exclamation point. But Big Mac was chasing her, and the spider pebbies, and she didn't know it. It was very exciting. Is she Chekhov now? It was very exciting. And all the spiders ran through Equestria, and all the ponies were scared and ran into house, but except for one pony, who stood into street and angry. Stop, spiders, she said, and they stopped. And Brown's big spider jumped off of her head. Her head was gray, and her coat was gray too, and her hair was straight. And the spider was brown and big and made angry click. Twilight heard the clicking and knew that the spider had name, Miriam Webster. And Merriam-Webster's spider told all the baby spiders to stop being bad. They couldn't do what they did because what they did was something bad to do. And they had to stop and listen to their mommy spider like spiders do every. Twilight Mom Spider thogoted really hard, and all the baby spiders watched her, and then Big Mac got over to where she was and said, Twilight, I'm so glad you're okay. And Twilight said, shh, I'm thinking, and Big Mac said, oh, okay, sorry. Twilight said, I love you, baby spiders, but you did the bad thing and made my friend Spike dead. Why you do that? And Pele's, so go make Spike better, and then we go to Everfree Forest where you belong as spiders. It will be okay. Question mark? And the spiders said, okay, mommy, and they went back to where Spike was, and he barfed all his juice back, and he was better! And Spike said, thank you, Spiderses. You are my best friends. Awesome face. And the spiders made a happy face, and then they hugged, but this time...
Spiders made a fucking happy
You
face?
missed the best part.
How did I miss the best part?
You missed the best part because Twilight said, I love you, baby spiders, but you did the bad thing and made my friend Spike go dead. Why would you do that? And please go so make Spike better, and then to Everfree Forest where you belong as spiders, it will be, okay?
So, the fact that Twilight, being the Spider Mom, cannot comprehend the fact that, look, they're your kids. Whether you like it or not, you've made these kids.
I just think you missed the best paragraph. It was the most well written.
I'm gonna go call my Redness Institute, despite my better judgment.
No. Don't do that.
I'm calling his office phone.
And the spiders said, okay, mommy, and they went back where Spike was, and he barfed all his juice, and he was better. Spike said, thank you, spiders. You are my bestest friends, happy face, and the spiders made a happy face, and then they hugged, but this time they didn't drain all of Spike's vital fluids. Smile. Then the spiders listened to Mommy Twilight, and went to the Everfree Forest, where spiders live happy and free, and it was good. Twilight and Big Mac Red Spider talked to Miriam, and the Grey Pony listened. The Grey Pony was Pinkie Pie's sister from Cutie Mark Chronicles, and she worked on the rock farm in case you were wondering. And Twilight clicked, thank you, to Merriam-Webster, and Merriam-Webster and Merriam-Webster clicked, "It's okay, listen, Twilight Spider, I am a wizard, and I know Yo and the Big Mac Spider are not spiders at all, but ponies who are spiders by accident? Do you want to be ponies again?" Chapter 5, The Spider End. Twiladin and Big Mac said, "Yes, we want to be ponies again," and Miriam said, "Okay, here, I will do my best spider magic," and the spider magic happened. Twilight and Big Mac were ponies again. They gave each other a big pony hug, and because they were friends from being spiders together, and it was good, smiley face. Miriam clicked, and they couldn't understand it anymore because they were ponies and not spiders, but the gray pony, Pinkie Pie's sister, could understand, and she translated the spider speak to pony speech so they could talk some more. Miriam said, "I hope you learned something from being a spider," and Twilight said, "Yes, I did. I will always remember. And I am also Aslo happy because I made Big Mac friend," and Big Mac said, "Yep," and then Big Mac said, "Listen, Twilight, about being spiders," and Twilight said, "It's okay, Big Mac. I understand, and we can still be very good friends forever, okay?" And Big Mac said, "Okay."
Thank you. Wait, where are we? Thank you, Miriam, I said. And Miriam said, "Do you learn anything?" And I thought about it extra hard. And I said, "Yes, I did learn something. But I will tell Celestia about it, okay?" And Miriam said, "That is fair." And then I saw bestest friend in world, Armbergerber, who was the most headensome,
Alicorn. He's made of alcohol. He's the Alicorn.
the alicorn, an equestrian, and Armbergerber said, "Hello, Twilight. It's been a long time. And I feel myself blushing because of how charming Armbergerber Alicorn was." And I said, "Yes, had been a long time. And do you think we can spend some time alone together? ? And he said, SCD said, "I don't think so, Twilight. I have lots of important things to do because I'm an alicorn, but maybe someday okay." And I was very sad because he was the nicest alicorn ever. But I said, "I understand." And he flew away, and it was amazing! ! I was so impressed and amazed and happy that I got to see him. Happy face. Then I went back to the library and found Spike and gave him the biggest, most happy hug ever. Because he was happy to see me. Because I was gone for so long. Because I was Spider, sad face. And I said, "Spike, please, take a letter." And he said, "Okay. But I will take a letter, Spike." And then Spike took a letter.
Dear Princess Celestia, today I learned that spiders are creepy, but being a spider is better than being dead. Your faithful student, Twilight Spackle. The end of the story! You can stop reading now. Thank you for reading my story, Happy Face. All glory to Jude.
To who?
That's Spiders'.
Oh, glory. Who the fuck
is
Jude?
I don't know.
Saint Jude?
But apparently Argynbarder is some kind of mystical, like, alicorn being, and this is Sweet Apple Massacre and Spiderses, and this is why I said that I needed not only somebody else to be with me, but also to be vaguely drunk.
You and I are horrible people now. Horrible people. There's no good people from here on out.
So those of you wondering, if you want Grimdark stories again, this is the best you're going to get. You're not going to get the high-quality, well-edited stuff that I do for my other fix.
Shit, did I just fuck the mic? Yeah, I think just fuck the mic. It's alright.
You just foot-fucked the mic with your socks.
Indeed. I pulled that off.
Yarr.
Yeah.
Yarr.